Here are 3 mistakes to avoid when healing from chronic pain. And this could look like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, multiple chemical sensitivity, POTS, and more. Let's get into it.
Sounds good.
It's a brand new day. Wake up every morning and say, it's a brand new day.
So the very first thing is not moving your body. And take it from me, I totally understand. 10 years ago, when I was hit with a sudden onset of chronic illness, basically every system in my body went haywire. And I was basically confined to my bed, and I tiptoe around that because I have so much respect for people who are actually bedridden and cannot move. But I did have the option to move. I just kind of chose not to. Of course, because I was depressed from what happened to me. I hurt everywhere. I was exhausted. I was so tired. But I want to tell you something. My then partner at the time, he planned something for us. And it was very sweet of him, but I was dreading it. I didn't want to get out of the house. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to be around people. But I mustered up the courage and I got dressed. I got in the car and he took me to this beautiful aquarium where we had a beautiful lunch and even a boat ride after. And I have to say, at the aquarium, about 15-20 minutes in, I noticed a shift. Not only did I notice a shift in my pain, but I noticed a shift in my mood. I noticed a shift in my anxiety, the joy that I was feeling, just a complete overall shift. And that just goes to show how much our nervous system plays into these types of illnesses. So it's important. I really do think that you should try everything in your power to even just get up and maybe go for a walk. And you can start slow, right? You can start with maybe just a few minutes, or maybe even just sitting outside for a few minutes if you really haven't even gotten out of bed at all. Whatever it looks like for you, I encourage you to take that next step to push yourself. It doesn't have to be a big step. In fact, I think you should definitely start small. But I wish I would have known this sooner, because that is when I noticed a shift. And so I really think that you guys will also notice a shift as well. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is our cell phones. And I know this day and age, everyone is constantly on their cell phones. The second we wake up, we look at our cell phones. The second we fall asleep, we had just looked at our cell phone. I can't stress this enough. That type of stimulation is a huge for our nervous system. Our brains have not evolved in 10,000 years. And I say this in so many of my videos. They have not evolved in 10,000 years. However, our society is evolving at astronomical rates. And this is why we see such a huge uprise in anxiety, stress, chronic disease, autoimmune issues, the list goes on. And a cell phone has so much power that can take away from your power. And I know that we all want to stay connected to the world. I get that. However, this is a pressing time for you. You're trying to heal from chronic illness symptoms, and you, my friend, are number one. You're number one. Your health and your wellness, your healing journey comes first right now. So take this time to really set boundaries for yourself. For me, it looks like not even looking at my cell phone at all when I wake up. I don't look at it at all. I don't look at it for about 45 minutes to an hour, in fact. And that's because I have my morning routine, which if you guys want to get my amazing healing morning routine, you can look at that, the link in my bio, in the description. I'm so used to Instagram. But after that is when I'll look at my cell phone, and that's when I'll post my social media, which, by the way, I've already bundled together on Mondays every week because, again, I don't want to be on my cell phone a lot. So I take 2 hours out of my week to do all of my social media posting, and then I have it scheduled for literally 7 days so that I don't have to go back to my cell phone. And then I'm pretty much off of it throughout the day. And when I do have a short phone call, keep it on speaker. I don't keep it close to my ear. And that's pretty much it. I'm only on it, texts here and there, my cell phone, again, on speaker when I'm talking to people every now and then. And that is it. So I really invite you to create boundaries around cell phone usage because it is so stimulating to our nervous system. So stimulating. I even notice for myself, actually, when I'm not necessarily my cell phone, but when I'm on my laptop, I'm typing away for a certain amount of time, I'll notice my nervous system just starts getting elevated. All of the anxiety feelings just start moving up. And I notice in that moment, okay, I've got to take a break right now because I'm getting way overstimulated from all of this. And you will absolutely notice a difference when you create these boundaries. And so I think it is definitely worth mentioning. That's the number 2 mistake. And the third mistake to avoid, not setting boundaries. Now, sometimes people look at this as if that's selfish. It is so not selfish. I promise. I promise you it is not selfish. Whenever we put ourselves first, right? Imagine the whole entire world. We all put ourselves first. Self-love, number one. That then exudes into the people next to us, and then that exudes into the people next to them. And we create this ripple effect in the world. This sounds cheesy, but it's really true. That makes us all happier, more joyous, more full of love. And you know how it goes on the airplanes. Put your mask on first before you can even help your child. This is kind of the same thing. You need to set boundaries around yourself. Do not overexert yourself. If someone asks you to do something and it elevates those stress levels, it activates that sympathetic system and you get overstimulated. That is your body telling you that you should say no. And so I promise you it's okay to say no. If a friend asks you to go to dinner and you have way too much going on, way too much on your plate, and again, you feel your nervous system getting stimulated, it's okay to say no. And by all means, I think it's important to stay social and absolutely have those relationships, that's very important, especially when we're going through this. But I'm just talking about things that overactivate our nervous system. Even when it comes to work, if you need to, have a talk with your boss and explain to them the condition that you're experiencing and you are in the midst of healing, but that right now you need to create more boundaries in order to optimize your health and healing. And I assure you they'll be understanding. And if they're not, well, maybe that's not the right job for you. Maybe that's not the right course for you right now because healing is number 1. Your life, you are worth it. So whatever those boundaries look like, saying no or even saying yes, maybe that's a boundary. I know that sounds a little counterintuitive, but that could also be a boundary too. I just invite you to stay true to yourself because when you stay true to yourself, you're going to feel more self-aligned. And when you are self-aligned, then you are more inclined, no rhyme intended, to attend to your healing and be there for yourself and do everything in your power to make sure that you heal. All right, guys, I hope that helps. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hug that subscribe button and make sure to press that bell notification so you know when my next video comes out. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.